Hey there, and welcome back to CineInsta Movie Recaps. Today, we're talking about Uncle Drew, a movie released back in 2018. The movie begins like a mini documentary about a basketball legend, Uncle Drew. This man was unstoppable back in the Rucker Classic tournaments. Some of the biggest names in basketball, Steve Nash, Joe Hammond, and Dikembe Mutombo, all talk about how amazing Uncle Drew was on the court. Even Jerry West says that Uncle Drew, not him, should have been the face of the NBA logo. That's how talented he was. Back in 1968, Uncle Drew and his childhood crew ruled the very first Rucker Classic. They were unbeatable, on top of the world. But then, everything went downhill. Rumors spread that Drew had spent the night with his teammate's girlfriend, right before the championship game. That drama completely broke the team's chemistry, and they ended up losing the finals. After that heartbreaking defeat, Uncle Drew disappeared. No one knew where he went. He stayed out of the spotlight for decades. Fast forward to the present day. We meet Dax Winslow, a basketball coach with big dreams of winning the Rucker Classic. He's built a strong team, but everything depends on one star player, Casper. Dax does everything he can to keep Casper happy, because without him, there's no championship. One day during practice, Dax's old childhood rival shows up, Mookie. He's already won 7 out of 9 Rucker championships, and he never lets Dax forget it. Mookie makes a point: star players like Casper only stick with winners. And Dax? He's never won anything. The comment hits Dax hard because he knows Mookie's right. If his players decide to leave, there's nothing he can do. After Mookie leaves, Dax tries to stay cool with Casper. He asks if there's anything Casper wants. Casper doesn't even hesitate. He says he wants a brand new pair of expensive Jordans. Since Dax works at a shoe store, he awkwardly promises to get them once the shipment arrives. That night, Dax has a nightmare about his past. He grew up in an orphanage and never got adopted. Basketball was his escape from loneliness, and he was really good at it. All through elementary and middle school, he never lost a game. But one day, everything changed. During an important match, Mookie blocked his shot and made him lose the game. From that day on, Dax lost everyone's respect. The memory still haunts him. Now, as an adult, Dax lives with his girlfriend Jess. She dreams of the day he'll earn enough to buy her a Tesla. But right now, she's the one paying all the bills. The next day, Casper and his crew show up at the shoe store. Dax feels the pressure. To stop them from joining Mookie's team, he agrees to buy shoes for all of them. Almost $1,000, gone in an instant. His card gets declined. Jess has to step in and cover the bill. The following day, Dax goes to the court, excited to hand out team jerseys. But when he gets there, his heart sinks. Casper and the entire team have joined Mookie. They've betrayed him. Dax is furious and demands they return the shoes. They laugh at him and refuse. The next day, things get even worse. A video of Dax trying to take back the shoes goes viral online. The embarrassment is too much for Jess. She breaks up with him and kicks him out. Now Dax is homeless, walking the streets with nothing but a trash bag full of clothes. But he doesn't give up. He starts visiting basketball courts all over New York, trying to recruit new players. The problem is, no one wants to play for a coach who's never won anything. One day, while watching some young guys play, Dax hears an old man criticizing them from the sidelines. The players mock him and challenge him to play, thinking there's no way an old man can keep up. They couldn't be more wrong. The old guy steps onto the court and completely schools them. Making shot after shot and showing them exactly how it's done. Dax is stunned. Then it hits him. This old man is none other than Uncle Drew, the legend himself. As Drew starts to leave, Dax stops him and begs him to join his team. Drew hesitates but finally agrees, on one condition. He'll play only if Dax helps him bring his old crew back together. Dax immediately says yes. The two hop into Uncle Drew's old van and hit the road. Their first stop, Washington, D.C. During the drive, they argue over music. Drew wants to play old school jazz, while Dax insists on hip-hop. Clearly, it's going to be a long trip. The next morning, they arrive at a church. One of Drew's old teammates, Preacher, is now an actual preacher. They find him right in the middle of a baptism, and he's literally handling a baby like it's a basketball. Dax calls him out, but somehow ends up getting baptized himself instead of the baby. Uncle Drew tells Preacher they're putting the old team back together. Preacher's all in until his wife, Betty Lou, shuts it down. No way is her husband playing basketball again. So Drew and Dax start to leave, but then Preacher sneaks into the van without them noticing. They drive off, and of course, Betty Lou spots them. She jumps into her own van and chases after them. It turns into a full-on car chase through the streets, until Uncle Drew runs a red light and finally loses her. A little later, they stop at a gas station. Dax asks why the team stopped playing after 1968, but nobody answers. Preacher quietly asks if things are okay between Drew and Big Fella, one of their old teammates. Drew just shrugs it off, saying a good game of basketball will fix everything. Next, they stop at an arcade. That's where they find Lights, another old teammate. He's playing electronic basketball, but his eyesight is so bad, he keeps missing every shot. Dax starts doubting the whole idea. The team already looks like a disaster before it even begins. But Drew's determined. Lights agrees to join them, even though he can barely see anyone's face. Their next stop is a retirement home, where they find Boots, another former teammate. He's been suffering from catatonic schizophrenia and hasn't walked in years. Dax can't believe Drew wants to bring him to a basketball tournament, but Drew insists. Boots' granddaughter, Maya, comes along to take care of him. The last member they need is the hardest one, Big Fella. He hasn't spoken to Uncle Drew in years. These days, he runs a karate dojo. When Drew approaches him, Big Fella punches him straight in the face. He wants nothing to do with him. But for the sake of the other teammates, he finally agrees to join. The whole crew is back together at last. They head back to Harlem. On the way, Betty Lou finds them again, leading to another crazy car chase. Somehow, they lose her once more. When they stop for a break, Dax realizes he's completely broke, not a single dollar left for gas. He sees a group of young women playing basketball nearby and bets $100 on a quick game. Big mistake. His team of old-timers gets crushed by the girls. At halftime, Dax begs them to step it up. He's desperate, but they lose anyway. Thankfully, Uncle Drew and the others pool together some cash to help Dax pay off the bet. When they finally make it back to Harlem, they visit their old practice court. Drew surprises everyone with gifts. For Lights, a pair of glasses that actually help him see again. For Boots, his favorite old Converse sneakers. And when he puts them on, he stands up for the first time in years. For Preacher, a cross necklace. And for Big Fella, their very first kids tournament trophy. But Big Fella crushes it under his foot. He still hasn't forgiven Drew. Meanwhile, Dax goes to see his ex, Jess. He finds out she's moved on, and she's dating Mookie now. That one hurts. But instead of giving up, it fuels him. He's more determined than ever to win. In their first tournament game, the team plays well for a few minutes. But the tension between Big Fella and Uncle Drew throws everything off. They lose. After the match, Drew and Big Fella visit the grave of Jennifer, Big Fella's late girlfriend. Finally, they talk to each other. It turns out that years ago, Drew had slept with Jennifer, even though he knew Big Fella loved her. Drew never apologized, and Big Fella carried that pain for decades. Drew admits he fell in love with her too, but says that night was a mistake. He finally apologizes, and Big Fella forgives him. With their old conflict behind them, the team starts playing better. Game after game, they dominate the court. They even celebrate one night at a nightclub. Some young guys laugh at them, so naturally, the old-timers challenge them to a dance-off and win. Later that night, Maya leans in to kiss Dax, but he panics and pulls away. The older guys see it happen and tell him, "Man, take a chance for once in your life." The team keeps winning and makes it all the way to the semifinals. Just one more victory, and they'll face Mookie's team in the finals. They're doing great, until Big Fella suddenly collapses with a heart attack. They rush him to the hospital, where doctors say he needs rest. He's officially out of the tournament. Luckily, Betty Lou, who somehow finds them again, steps in to take his place. Finally, the day of the finals arrives. It's Dax and Uncle Drew's team versus Mookie and Casper. The tension is off the charts. Years of rivalry come down to this one game. Casper mocks Uncle Drew, but that only fires up the old crew even more. At first, Mookie's team looks like they've got the upper hand. But then, Uncle Drew's team starts adapting. They find their rhythm and begin scoring basket after basket. Just when things are looking good, disaster strikes. Lights and Casper crash into the net. Lights injures his ankle. He's out of the game. Dax panics. They're one player short. Uncle Drew looks straight at him and says he should step in. Dax freezes. He hasn't played basketball since middle school, not since Mookie blocked his shot and ruined his confidence. But there's no other choice. He agrees to play. To make things worse, Mookie replaces Casper on the opposing team. As the game begins, tension builds on and off the court. Maya and Jess even start arguing on the sidelines. Mookie scores almost immediately, and the pressure is on. Then comes the final moment. With just 8 seconds left on the clock, Dax gets the ball. He has a chance to win everything. But suddenly, old memories rush back. That blocked shot, the humiliation, the years of failure. He freezes and calls a timeout. The team gathers around him and gives him the pep talk of a lifetime. They remind him who he is and that this is his moment. Dax takes the ball. The clock is ticking down. He shoots. The ball goes in. The crowd erupts in cheers. They've done it. They've actually won. Mookie walks up to Dax and, for the first time ever, shows him respect. Dax turns to Maya and kisses her. Later, the team visits Big Fella in the hospital. Dax uses the prize money to pay for Big Fella's medical bills. In the final scene, everyone's watching a news channel. The news anchor calls Dax a hero. And that concludes the story Uncle Drew. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. And tell us in the comments which movie you'd like us to cover next. Until next time, take care.